Welcome back to the News Hub. I'm Kelsey Hubbard. Well, more bad news for red meat lovers. It has been assumed that red meat raises the risk of heart disease, but a recent study in the journal Nature Medicine points to another culprit found in red meat, carnitine. Melinda Beck is here with more. Melinda, good morning. Thanks for joining us.
Hi, Kelsey.
So, a concern about red meat. Everyone thought, it was not exactly heart healthy, but it may not be the only culprit. Carnitine.
Well,
many people may not even know what that is.
Exactly. It's an amino acid, some kind of compound that's found in red meat, but also in a lot of energy drinks and dietary supplements, because what it actually does is somehow transport fatty acids into cells where it can be burned for fuel. But what this study found was that some bacteria in the human intestine can also turn it into yet another compound. I won't even attempt the name. The abbreviation is TMAO, that somehow promotes atherosclerosis. That's the hardening of the arteries that is really the precursor, and that's the real culprit in a lot of heart disease.
Okay, so what are some of the foods and things that this is found in?
Red meat is the main culprit, and that would be beef, lamb, some veal, some pork also. Bacon, I'm afraid, is a big one. It's also in many dairy products and
also fruits and vegetables.
Yeah, in lesser amounts in beans, legumes, fruits, vegetables. But the highest quantity is really in red meat.
And now, does everybody have this bacteria in their gut, or is it just some people? And so
that was
would it
a
affect people differently?
very interesting finding in this study, that the more you eat red meat or carnitine in any form, the more you develop this bacteria, which then develops this harmful metabolite. So it really is sort of a snowballing effect. And in part of this study, they had omnivores compared to vegans and vegetarians eat steak and a supplement for this, and the vegans and vegetarians really had very little of this bacteria, so they had very little of this effect, but the omnivores who'd been consuming it all along had quite a large effect.
Oh wow. So what is sort of the takeaway from this study in terms of how much people should be cutting back, or is it something just to be aware of?
The study didn't look at exactly what quantity would do this, but the overriding message was it's really your long-term dietary patterns that affect this, as well as how much you ate just today. And that the more you eat red meat over the course of your lifetime, the more you're going to raise your risk, and that you can also diminish it, but it really takes a lot of doing and a lot of conscious effort over the long haul.
And so also maybe a lot of people will take away from this that if they're meat lovers, also not to maybe indulge in a lot of these drinks, which they probably didn't even know this existed.
Well, yes, in energy drinks. Some of these energy drinks are infused with as much carnitine as an 8-ounce sirloin steak. And the researcher who led this study was very concerned that kids especially, who might be having these for 10, 20, 30 years, would be really unknowingly raising their risk for this.
Wow. Okay. Melinda, thank you so much for bringing it to us. Some great news this morning on that. A lot of people paying attention to the red meat now have another reason to. Thanks so much.